action.
They contact people at random using telephone listings and social networking sites.
Like Facebook?
Sure, by Facebook.
Well, shouldn't Zuckerberg be able to fix this?
June, Fred, thank you so much for joining me. Thelma is such an amazing movie, and you are both incredible in it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now, June, I want to start with you. Now you're an action movie star, like Tom Cruise. Did you demand to do all of your own stunts?
I didn't demand it, but I said I could do it. I felt I could do it. So I sort of snuck my way in, and they were scared to death. But after I started doing it, I think they relaxed some and realized I wasn't going to kill myself, that I could do these things physically.
And physically, what was the toughest sequence that you had to shoot?
I think climbing those stairs, strangely enough. I think that was hard. The scooter was not hard at all. And the bedrolls and going, just walking through that antique store and everything. Those stairs were hard. They were hard to walk.
Yeah. And I think the way that was depicted in the film, I think, really made a serious statement about, mobility in houses. And,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, they were steep.
Things happen to people as they age. Weird, crazy things.
We're old, diminished. The least we can do is take care of each other.
And Fred, your performance in the film is fantastic as well. Tell me about working with the wonderful, wonderful June on this film.
It was such an utmost pleasure and a thrill and an inspiration, and it was just the best. I mean, we're friends now. June is one of my dear pals. And when we met before filming, Josh, our director, and I, we went over, and June welcomed me into her house, and we started talking about the script, and quickly ended up talking about our lives, and even though the script was on the table, I was feeling, we're really becoming friends now, and so I it was really special because we made this movie that means so much to me and to us, and that feels so personal and exciting. And then also, once we're been done with it, we keep hanging out, and I keep learning from her and just enjoying becoming friends on this. So it's a real thrill. I'm really proud of our scenes, and I'm really glad to know her.
Grandma?
Hello?
No, sorry. I'm just looking for my grandma. Sorry.
Yeah, that chemistry really comes across on the screen. It's wonderful to see as an audience member. And for you, June, what appealed to you the most about playing the character of Thelma?
Well, I think Josh's reality at looking at age, and he never laughed at it, never. And this was obvious in the script, and because I read the script before I met him. So, but I think that you sense from the script that this is an honest, realistic look at age, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, and the film is funny, but you're never laughing at Thelma.
Never laughing at the fact she's in her 90s. Yeah, I mean, her being 90 is not funny.
Yeah, that's right. And she's also such a badass, Like, I think at the end of this year, they'll say, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, June Squibb are the big action heroes of 2024.
Oh, I hope so.
And Fred, your character is so interesting, Danny. There's a lot of layers to him that kind of get unpeeled throughout the film. How would you describe him?
I think he's in a part of his life that is a tricky transition. I think he's having a hard time believing in himself and believing in the systems around him. I think he's having a hard time believing in much. And yet the one thing that I think is quite sturdy, and almost unconsciously special and important and exciting, is his friendship with Thelma. I think the way that the two of them hang out, the way that they exist in life, I think brings him a lot of calm and purpose. And he's just trying to figure out maybe how other parts of life could feel like that. And why does everything else, feel so tricky and difficult? I think he's in one of those ruts, those kind of mental ruts where you're hard on yourself and you have to find confidence and find truth and work through something.
Yeah. And I see some of the stuff that Danny goes through is kind of like a, symptomatic of modern life. And I think Thelma's kind of, sort of perspective, having lived through so much in her life, I've almost provides sort of an anchor that transcends some of that, like the weirdness of modern reality, I think.
No, I think that's true.
Yeah.
And June, can you tell me about the scenes that you shared with the legend Richard Roundtree on this film?
With Richard, he was great. He was such a good actor, and we became friends. With all the time we spent on the scooter together, and we talked all the time. He was great. I had a birthday during shooting, and he was not called that day, but he came and he brought me 2 dozen red roses. And I will never forget that. I mean, that is so great. He didn't have to even be there. And he made a trip there and brought me roses for my birthday.
Yeah. And playing chicken on mobility scooters with Sharp is pretty special.
Yeah, well, I kept saying I never forgot that was Shaft sitting behind me on that scooter all the time.
It's so awesome. It's just so wonderful seeing the collaboration between the two of you on this film. And Fred, I want to just touch quickly on White Lotus. Like, what was that experience like for you? And then to be part of a show that was legitimately the most popular TV show on the planet.
It was so wild and incredible because we were in the middle of the, pandemic, as everyone was. It was a sort of perfect storm for that show because Mike White is complete genius and HBO needed something. And Mike will start writing and these things will be so fully formed and will bring such depth each person. And so very quickly, he from all these ideas that he'd been thinking up over the years, he put this thing together, which then created such an immensely enjoyable and exhilarating experience for our company of actors. You really kind of built this getaway to explore these ideas together. But it was not the kind of thing that you could predict. It really came from Mike's ingenuity in a moment of crisis.
Yeah, lightning in a bottle, I think he captured with that show. June, like, just to be a bit more serious, because there is a serious element to Thelma as well that I think is important to touch on. Like, what do you think the film says about how society treats the elderly, and also how people, as they get older, maybe forget who they were or the lives that they had, and kind of fall into, the care system?
I don't think the care system is such a awful thing, to be honest with you. I don't have experience in it other than I've had friends in it and have, been with them and seen how they related to it. To me now, it seems like that will be just a sort of, this is what happens. And I don't know. I mean, I know other people who are so frightened of it or don't want, say that's not for them. I don't know. I have no idea whether I will or won't, but it doesn't frighten me. Let's just put it this way. No, I just think that as far as Thelma goes, that she does what she feels has to be done. And I relate to that, because I do that too, to a great extent. And I think that is why the script is so wonderful, because Josh never makes light of it. Whatever she's doing is something that's important to her to do. And I, of course, have this thing about do not listen to people telling you can't do something. That's very much a part of me and has been my whole life. So I'm saying, go, Thelma, go.
And June, we know Tom Cruise loves a sequel. How many Mission Impossible movies has he made now? Would you like to do more Thelma movies?
Oh, I think we could probably, I think Josh would have to come up with an idea that was as important as this one was. Because I think you have to, with sequels, I think you have to sort of do better than.
Yeah, bigger and better, bigger stunts.
Bigger and better, yeah.
You're gonna have to jump the scooter over a canyon.
I don't know about that. Now, I think you're going too far there.
All right, guys, we're running out of time, but I would like you both to tell me what you hope audiences in Australia take away from Thelma.
Well, I don't know. Do you have an age thing there?
Yeah,
we're looking at ages, they don't understand it, or they don't. Well, then that, to me, I mean, you will look at it and you will see age as it truly is. I think that we've been very honest with age, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you, Fred?
I agree. I think that I also think that we all need different kinds of care. And the fact that we need care shouldn't get in the way of our desires and our independence. And I think this movie makes me really think about how you can actively care for the people that you love, so as to dignify them, respect them, trust them, love them, not get in their way, but also be there for them.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I think it's how you care for those you love without you're caring for them in the way that they want you to care for them, as opposed to how you think is best. I think there's a real message in this film about that.
That's true.
June, Fred, thank you so much. And thanks for your work on this film. I think it's hilarious. I think it brings so much joy, but I think it also makes you think about those closest to you as well. It's very special. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And cut.